Have you ever just sat there and asked yourself, why does nothing feel good anymore? You're not angry, you're not crying, you're just empty, like the world is moving, but you're stuck, smiling on the outside. But inside, you feel nothing. This is the numbness, and it's more common than you think. Most people don't talk about it because it doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't scream for attention. It just silently takes over. You wake up tired, you eat food, but it's flavorless. You laugh at jokes, but they don't touch you. Your dreams, they feel so far away now. You scroll, you watch, you wait, and yet nothing fills you, nothing moves you. You wonder, wasn't life supposed to feel better than this? Here's what nobody told you. That emptiness you feel is not a weakness, it's not laziness, it's a signal. It's your soul trying to speak, trying to tell you something's off, something's missing. You're not broken, you're not failing, you're disconnected. From what? From yourself. Remember the version of you that used to feel excited? Remember when music hit harder? When you couldn't wait to do something, to try something? What happened to that fire? You didn't lose it. It just got buried. Under stress, under distractions, under pretending to be okay. Somewhere along the line, life got loud, and you stopped listening to yourself. So, why does nothing feel good anymore? Because you've been running on autopilot for too long. Because you've given so much to work, to expectations, to noise, that you forgot to give something back to you. But here's the twist. This numbness, it's not the end. It's the beginning of something bigger, a wake-up call. And once you understand where it's coming from, you'll see just how powerful this moment really is. Because in the next part, we're going to uncover the real reason why you started feeling disconnected in the first place. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Stay with me. You might think you're just tired, but it's not just physical. This isn't the kind of tired that sleep can fix. This is a soul-level exhaustion, and it's not random. It has a source. So ask yourself, where does your energy actually go? The truth? You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're being drained every single day. It's not just your job, not just your responsibilities. It's the overthinking, the fake smiles, the pressure to keep up, the guilt, the comparisons, the I should be further by now. Think about it. You wake up and your phone's already feeding your mind, other people's success, other people's lives. Before you even brush your teeth, you already feel behind. That's where it begins. And it keeps pulling you deeper, scroll after scroll, thought after thought, all invisible, but all draining you. No wonder you feel empty. No wonder nothing feels good. Because your energy isn't going toward building your life. It's going toward holding up the image, the mask, the pressure to seem okay. Imagine your mind is a phone. Every app running in the background drains the battery, even if you're not using it. Now think about your life. How many emotional apps are draining you? Unspoken anger, old regrets, trying to please everyone, worrying about opinions. That's the invisible drain, and it's constant. You're smiling at work, but inside, you're thinking about what you should be doing with your life. You're with people, but your mind is replaying old conversations, old mistakes. You're chasing goals, but only because you're scared of what happens if you stop. It's exhausting, and it's hidden, and nobody sees it. Nobody claps for you for fighting silent battles. There's no award for showing up when your heart feels empty, but you do it anyway, because something in you refuses to quit. And that's something? That's not weakness. That's strength. You're stronger than you know. But even the strongest need to rest, to recharge, to reset. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't light up your world while your own light is fading. But here's the good news. You can take your power back. In the next section, we'll break the myth that feeling good means doing more. Because the truth is, it's not about adding more to your life. It's about subtracting what's stealing your peace. And once you learn how, you'll finally start to feel alive again. Stay with me. They told you, just stay busy, work harder, keep your mind occupied. But let me ask you this, if doing more was the answer, why do you still feel so empty? Because what if the problem isn't that you're not doing enough? What if you're doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons? You try to outrun the heaviness. You try to outwork the sadness. You keep stacking more goals, more tasks, more plans. But deep inside, You're not building peace. You're just building noise. And that noise, it's what's keeping you from hearing your own soul. You clean your room. You answer emails. You show up at work, but you still feel off. You still feel lost because productivity isn't healing. It's just hiding. You've been tricked into believing that rest is laziness, that slowing down is failure, that feeling sad means you're broken. But what if sadness is just your soul whispering, "This isn't the life I want"? Imagine driving a car full speed, but in the wrong direction. That's what doing more looks like when your heart isn't in it. More tasks, more motion, but no meaning. And the scariest part? The faster you go, the further you drift from yourself. You check off to-do lists, but you can't check in with yourself. You help everyone else, but can't seem to help yourself. You show up strong, but fall apart in silence. That's not weakness. That's exhaustion in disguise. It's not that you're not good enough. It's that you're trying to solve an inner problem with outside actions. Take a second and ask yourself, why am I always doing so much? Is it love or fear? Is it purpose or pressure? You see, when you don't feel good inside, doing more outside becomes a distraction. But distractions don't heal pain. They just delay it. It's not about doing more. It's about being more aligned, more honest with yourself, more present in the moment, more kind to your mind. Because sometimes the most powerful move is to pause, to stop chasing, to sit with the discomfort, to feel it fully, so you can finally understand what it's trying to teach you. You're not broken because you feel numb. You're not weak because you want to cry. You're not lazy because you need rest. You're human. And being human means you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to stop running and just breathe. And here's what might surprise you. The moment you stop doing for the sake of doing, that's when you start becoming. You start connecting, healing, awakening. In the next section, we're going to talk about the silent killer of joy, comparison. Because the fastest way to lose yourself is to live like someone else. And if you've ever looked at someone else's life and thought, why don't I feel that happy? You're not alone. Let's break it open. Stay close. You scroll, you see their perfect life, the smile, the success, the wins, and then you look at yourself and you wonder, why does everyone else seem to have it all except me? But what if I told you? You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel? That's the trap. And it's costing you your peace. You wake up and grab your phone, and before your feet touch the floor, you've already compared your life to 5 strangers online. They look happy. You feel behind. They seem in control. You feel lost. But here's the truth. You're not behind. You're just running your own race. Only you keep looking sideways. Imagine this. You're in a race, but instead of looking forward, you keep turning your head to see who's next to you. And the more you look around, the slower you move, the less you trust your pace. And eventually, you forget where you were even going. That's what comparison does. It makes you forget your own path. You don't see their pain. You don't see the nights they cried. You don't see the pressure they hide. You just see what they want you to see. And still, you use it to judge your whole worth. You tell yourself you're not enough, not rich enough, not happy enough, not there yet. But ask yourself, where is there really? What if there isn't real? What if there is no final destination? What if the only thing that matters is how you're growing right now? You see, joy doesn't live in someone else's life. It doesn't wait for a number, a follower count, or a fancy job title. Joy is quiet. It lives in the small wins, the invisible progress, the moment you chose to keep going. Maybe you didn't post it, but you got out of bed when your mind told you to give up. Maybe you didn't film it, but you made it through a tough week without breaking. That's growth. That's strength. That's you showing up, even when no one claps. You don't need the world's applause to prove that you're rising. Every time you compare, you rob yourself of your own story. It's like reading someone else's book and wondering why your pages don't match. Of course they don't. You weren't made to be them. You were made to be you. And the moment you stop comparing, you get your power back. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Now ask yourself, what if I stopped watching others and started watching myself grow? What if every small change counted? What if I could be proud without needing to be perfect? Because truth is, you're not behind. You're blooming on your own time. So today, drop the comparison. Drop the shame. Drop the lie that you're not enough. Your journey is not late. It's just different. And different isn't bad. Different is real. Different is you. In the next part, we'll talk about why so many of us feel emotionally empty, even when life looks fine on the outside. Because sometimes it's not about what you have. It's about what your heart is missing. Let's talk about that silence, that feeling of something's off. You won't want to miss it. Have you ever sat in a room full of people and still felt completely alone? Have you ever smiled on the outside but felt nothing inside? You go to work, you scroll your phone, you laugh at jokes, you answer messages, but deep down you feel drained, numbered, disconnected, like you're alive, but not really living. That's not weakness. That's emotional burnout, and you're not the only one feeling it. We've all been told to keep going, to stay strong, to push through, but nobody told us what happens when your heart gets tired. Not your body, not your schedule, but your soul. You start to feel like you're running on fumes. You stop caring about the things you used to love. Even rest doesn't feel like rest anymore, and the worst part, you don't even know why. Because burnout doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It hides in the little things. You don't respond to messages. You skip calls. You avoid people, not because you're rude, but because your energy is gone. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're exhausted. And here's the truth. No one says out loud, you've been carrying too much for too long without a break. Think about it. When was the last time you paused, not to scroll, not to distract, but to actually breathe? When was the last time you said, I'm not okay, without feeling guilty? You've been strong for so long, you forgot it's okay to stop pretending. You can't keep pouring from an empty cup. Eventually, even the strongest hearts collapse if no one refills them. Emotional burnout isn't just about doing too much. It's about feeling unseen, unheard, unvalued. It happens when your efforts go unnoticed, when you keep showing up, but no one shows up for you. It's when you give and give and give, and no one thinks to ask, how are you really? It's not weakness. It's a warning sign. Your mind is saying, I need time. I need care. I need help. So what can you do? Start here. Give yourself permission to pause. Not everything needs to be done today. Not every message needs a reply right now. It's okay to step back. It's okay to rest. It's okay to not be on all the time, because your worth isn't based on how productive you are. Healing starts with honesty. It starts with admitting, I'm tired, and that's okay. It starts with tiny moments, a walk without your phone, 5 deep breaths, saying no without guilt. You don't heal by forcing yourself to go faster. You heal by slowing down and listening to what your soul needs. And guess what? You're allowed to need. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to rebuild. Maybe you've been trying to keep your family happy, or you've been chasing dreams without rest, or maybe you've been silently struggling with no one noticing. Whatever your story is, it matters. You matter. Burnout doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But here's the twist. Most people stay stuck in burnout because they believe it'll never get better, that this numbness is forever, that joy is gone for good. But they're wrong, because in the next section, we'll talk about something most people don't realize. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen the moment you choose it. Let me show you how. Let me ask you a strange question. What's one thing in your life that still feels real? Not what you should love, not what others expect, but that one small moment, person, place, or feeling that makes you forget the emptiness just for a second. Hold on to that, because that's where healing begins. Most people think healing is a big moment, a loud breakthrough, a new job, a new partner, a new goal. But real healing? It starts in silence. In the quiet space between breakdown and breakthrough. It's not flashy, it's not loud, and most of the time, it's invisible to everyone else. You might still feel lost, still numb, still tired. That's okay. You're not failing. You're unfolding. Think about it. Even a seed has to break in the dark before it ever reaches the light. You're in that space right now, the space where everything hurts, but something inside you refuses to give up. That pain you feel, it means you're still alive, still feeling, still fighting. And guess what? Even if you don't feel strong, you're here, watching this, still trying. And that's everything. Because people who truly heal are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who kept going even when nothing made sense. So where does healing begin? It starts with presence. Tiny moments of realness in a world that feels fake. A 10-minute walk without your phone. Sitting in silence with a cup of tea. Listening to the rain. Saying, "I'm not okay," without apologizing. These don't seem big, but they're the beginning of coming back to yourself. Because healing isn't a goal. It's a return. You're not trying to become someone new. You're trying to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Before the pressure, before the burnout, before the masks. Somewhere inside you, that person still exists. And they're waiting for you to slow down and come home. Let me tell you something honest. I once knew someone who said, "I forgot how to enjoy life. I don't even know what makes me happy anymore." So I asked them, "What did you enjoy as a kid?" They smiled and said, "Drawing." They hadn't picked up a pencil in years, but one day they did. Not to be great, not for anyone else, just to feel something again. That simple act was the start of their healing. Not a vacation, not a therapist, not a 10-step routine, just one small, real moment that reminded them they were still alive. So I ask you, what still feels real? Not what's trendy, not what looks good online. What makes you feel you? It might be small. So small, it seems like it doesn't matter. But that's the trick. Healing lives in the small, in the slow, in the quiet. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You don't need a plan. You don't need permission. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to take one step toward what feels real, even if it's just standing in the sunlight, even if it's just listening to music that moves you, even if it's just closing your eyes and breathing. Start there and keep going. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you were. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're becoming. The numbness is fading. The fog is lifting. And little by little, you're remembering how to feel again. That's the start of something beautiful. Because the truth is, you're not lost. You're healing. And healing is its own kind of miracle. Have you ever just stopped feeling? Like nothing excites you, nothing hurts you, and nothing really matters? You smile in public. You say, "I'm fine." But deep inside, you feel nothing. Let me tell you something most people don't know. Numbness isn't weakness. It's not failure. And it's not just a symptom. It's a signal your mind and body are sending you, trying to say something louder than words ever could. And if you ignore it, it only gets worse. But if you understand it, your entire life can change. Let's be honest. Most people think feeling numb means you're lazy, depressed, or broken. But numbness isn't the absence of feeling. It's the presence of too much pain. So much, your mind shuts the door to survive. It's like your brain is saying, "I can't feel all of this, so I'll feel nothing." That's not weakness. That's protection. It's your system doing its best to keep you going when it feels like everything inside is falling apart. Here's the lie we often believe. If I don't feel anything, maybe I'm okay. We confuse numbness with safety. We think silence means peace. But silence can be the loudest scream. Numbness isn't the problem. It's the warning sign of a deeper storm. It's the smoke, not the fire. And if you only treat the smoke, the fire keeps burning, quietly, until it takes over everything. Let's break it down. You feel numb because something inside you has been ignored for too long. Maybe it's emotional exhaustion. Maybe it's dreams you buried. Maybe it's pressure to always be okay. And the more you pushed it down, the more your emotions shut off to survive. You didn't choose this. But now you have a choice. Keep pretending or start listening. What if, instead of fighting the numbness, you leaned into it? What if you asked, "What is my mind trying to protect me from? What feelings have I been afraid to feel? When did I stop being honest with myself?" This is where healing begins, because numbness doesn't show up randomly. It's your internal alarm saying something needs to change. You don't need a big breakthrough. You don't need to force yourself to feel everything all at once. That's not healing. That's overload. Start small. Watch a movie that used to move you. Sit with music. No distractions. Write one sentence about how you really feel. Talk to one person you trust. And be honest. At first, it might feel awkward, but that's okay. You're not broken. You're just waking up again. Here's the truth most people hide. Everyone has felt this. Even the strongest people have faced seasons of silence, moments when the world turned gray. But the ones who came back, they didn't wait for a miracle. They started by listening to the signal inside. They didn't shame themselves for going numb. They honored it, and they used it as a map back to the parts of themselves they lost. So if you're feeling numb right now, not broken, not dramatic, just numb, I need you to hear this. You're not lost. You're not weak. You're not failing. You're being called back to yourself. Numbness is not the end. It's the invitation to begin again. And if you're brave enough to follow it, even just a little, you'll start to feel again. And this time, it will be real.